Morning vlog. It's Monday, 7:29. The second half of our massive job in Whyalla is getting loaded on a truck right now, and I'm doing it. I've never done this before, so bear with me. So, truck is loaded. He just needed a little bit of assistance in getting the coils just pushed over. I used the cage. I'm not really sure if that's the right way to do it, but it's the way I've done it. Alright, so he's loaded. One thing that I didn't realise that he was doing was strapping the straps. So if that's the pipe, he's strapping a strap through the pipe and pulling it from all four sides and like stretching the pipe around his tray to hold the pipe. I've seen so many truck drivers in the past just cross the pipe, the stuff over like that and pull it down, and what happens if you get some movement, the straps fall off the side and the pipe pops out. Something that I'm not really conscious of because I'm not driving a truck like that with massive pipes in it, but I had to get under there and help him do that. So that's cool. There was definitely no doubt. I kind of was thinking, oh, how are they going to hold these like round pipes on a square truck or a rectangular truck? Now it makes a lot of sense as to why he was putting bearers under there so he could get ropes or straps, can't use ropes anymore, around his bow pipe. And he'll drive straight to Whyalla now, do the drop off, and he said he'll head straight home. So 12-hour day. I couldn't do it. I struggled driving for long periods of time without getting tired. And I was just asking him how. I said, do you enjoy what you're doing? He's like, yeah, some days I don't. I'm like, why is that? And he goes, oh, the other day I was driving to Melbourne and someone was overtaking on the wrong side of the road, obviously, to overtake, and nearly hit him, and he ended up in the dirt. Now, for anyone watching, I know that seems like a common sense thing to not overtake unsafely, but these things weigh 20 tonne or whatever, and that's probably when it's not loaded. It's really hard to slow these things down. It's really hard to change direction in them. It's like a big ship. So I guess community service announcement from me: be conscious of the fact that these things don't drive like cars. When you're popping out and popping back in, they can't do the same. Right. Anyway, this is Monday. It's now 9 o'clock, so probably an hour and a half by the time you do some tying down and communication with the driver to load a truck like that. I wasn't really sure how long it was going to take. And now my focus for this morning is to make contact with all the key stakeholders from the outwards kind of facing parts of the business. So I'm going to ring Luke, I'm going to ring Chris, I'm going to talk to Matt, I'm going to talk to Kate, I'm going to talk to Lisa, I'm going to talk to everyone that's I guess my direct reports in a way. Max, the big dog, Kleinig, is on annual leave. He only started like 2 months ago. So Reidy is down here at Dry Creek setting up, we're packing Lawn Hub. We're going to set the fertiliser hopper up today. Max hasn't had a chance to do it, so me and Reidy are going to have a crack at that today. Hopefully get some more efficiencies so that Reidy can move into what he's meant to be doing. So Reidy's helping Max out. Obviously, when one man's down, all other people, or one woman's down, all other men and women step in to help. The Lawn Hub stuff, Reidy's been doing most of the Lawn Hub's life, so he understands how it's done, and it's going to be really good for us to get Reidy to get his fingers on it down here, because Max hasn't been doing it for very long. Reidy might notice some stuff that he's doing that might seem a bit weird, or why are you doing it this way? Can we move stuff around? Can we be more efficient? Can we get these labels printed over here and let them dry here or whatever? But we've had this fertiliser hopper sitting here for 22 days and we haven't used it. Now, it's kind of silly because it's a $20,000 piece of kit, but the rest of the stuff that we need for it's not here. Anyway, the idea is efficiency gains. If we can spend money to save money, we're going to do that. We've spent the money, let's try and save some money now. So me and Reidy are going to have a crack at that. I'll probably get Duffy to film it because it's probably going to be amusing, me trying to put together a fertiliser hopper. And then I'm going to sit down, plan my week a little bit. I want to do some customer contact stuff this week, do some lunches again.
WaterPro is having a really good period. Railways and WaterPro are both on budget at the moment, which is really nice. And really the weakest link at the moment is Lawn Hub. The main reason behind that is we haven't been doing ads on Facebook because we haven't wanted to inundate Max with work while he's still learning, plus we hadn't set up the warehouse. That's, gloves are off, it's time to go. So we will turn the ads back on. Well, they're on, but we're using an external contractor, and I think they're still trying to find their feet as far as what works and what doesn't. It's a testing phase at the moment, which is normal. But if we can get all guns firing, it's going to be a very, very, very good month next month. Alright, so Duffy is doing some contract videography today because, I don't know, I say yes to everything. So me and Reidy, that's Reidy, there, I can't do this, there, are going to go finish putting together the fertiliser hopper. Reidy has done a good job without me, but given that there was no instructions, I think there might be a slight change that needs to be made. So, if you have a look here, I reckon these things here are meant to be under there based on the photos that I saw on the internet. This seems to be kind of like a scaly thing, so we're going to just switch that over and then we're going to plug it in, stick some fertiliser in it, cross our fingers. Now, you might be thinking, hey Clint, why don't you just follow the instructions? Good question. It didn't come with instructions. Now, that's either because it's so easy that it doesn't need instructions, one, we lost the instructions, two, or they forgot to send them. So I've emailed the guy, but if you follow any of my content, you'll probably have started to realize that I'm super impatient and I want it all, and I want it all now. So rather than waiting, we're gonna just work it out like good Aussie men and probably break it, and then we can't use it, but at least we tried. So wish us luck. There is instructions, alright, so apologies to, I don't know, whoever might have been offended by my complaining about not having instructions, but we found some. Here we go. Place the stand-up pouch or container on the platform. Wow, it's really clear. Alright, so fertiliser hopper works. That's a good thing because, sometimes these things don't work. It was pretty easy to set up once I read the instructions. Because I haven't read the instructions, I kind of feel like I haven't set it up properly, so Reidy was just double checking the measurements, but it looks good. So, the next thing we're going to be doing is getting the buckets printed with a really cool print around the whole bucket, and then that will look much more appealing, visually appealing, and then it's going to be a much quicker process for the guys and less physically demanding. So obviously we've got some very fit, healthy human beings here, but picking up bags and turning and that's not ideal. As with any new business, when you're bootstrapping it and you're starting out, say you were making sauce or making cookies or selling something at home, in the early days it's everything. You just put it together yourself, you get it in the packaging, and you just do what you can because you can't afford the extra stuff. We're in a position now where we can afford a fertiliser hopper, we've eaten shit, metaphorically and physically, and now we're at a point where we can step up. I think a lot of times young business owners, or business owners with young businesses, not young people that are business owners, may go a little bit too early on some of this tech and buy something that they can't afford. We now know what our turnover is, we know how much profit we make, we know how to drive more sales to the business, we're capable of warehousing and dispatching materials, all that jazz is taken care of, so now I feel comfortable in buying the hopper. So yeah, onwards and upwards, because Lawn Hub is growing. Yeah, I know, shocking. You can use that, Duffy. Anyway, that's it. One thing I forgot to add is that this is only half of what we're getting for this. So what we have on order, which they had to custom make for us, was a, how would I describe it? Kind of like a couple of hooks that you can hang a 1,000 kilo bulk bag from that has a hole in the bottom that drives the fertilizer up into the top of that hopper, wherever that is, there. And it will basically pump that 1,000 kilos, I think it corkscrews it up at a rate that keeps up with the sensor in the top of that thing, so that we don't have to physically lift stuff up, so we can just forklift that bulker bag into the rack, set it all up, and we can do 205 kilo tubs without having to physically lift the bulker bag. So there's less, the heaviest weight any of my team are going to carry is 5,210 grams. See, look at that bloke carrying 25 kilo bags because he's really strong. But you know, you do that over the period of your life, and you might have some soreness. So we're changing that to make it efficient, safer, faster, all those good things. Yeah, so that should be here in about 8 to 10 days. Obviously we've got Easter coming up, so probably 15 days now, but when that's here, whew, all bets are off. So I was just looking at my emails, and check this out. It's got a photo of the second half of the machine. So it's pretty close. They've just got to build the auger, which is what screws it up. Don't mind Reidy just making heaps of noise in the background during my vlog. So they're still trying to have it ready by the end of the month, which is pretty cool. It kind of sucks that we're moving into a colder climate throughout most of Australia, but we should be able to still pump heaps of fertiliser into Queensland, which is where we'll be focusing a lot of our energies during the cooler months. What do you think? How good is it? Do you have any anger towards me for not buying this machine earlier?
Not anger, just disappointed.
It's like when your parents tell you they're not angry with you, they're just disappointed. I've always liked that whole, we used to do one where with a staff member you'd be like, I'm not angry with you, I'm just disappointed. And I'm not disappointed at you, I'm disappointed at myself for thinking that you were better than you are. It's horrible. So yeah, that's, I guess, Monday in a nutshell. All I can think about is like, no, this is me in a nutshell. Loaded the truck, set up a fertilizer hopper. Looks like young Lisa needs to see me now, so I'm gonna go. All right. That was Monday. So I didn't really go into Monday with a plan as such. I just went into Monday with a bit of openness. I knew I had to pack that truck, and I kind of just left the rest of the day pretty loose. I find that I'm not attending to a lot of the loose ends and the email responses and whatever else people have for me to do when I have back-to-back appointments, and I think I'm kind of like floating between this hybrid, that's not the right word, that's just trying to use words for the sake of it. I'm just floating between this state of where I want to be, which is a very full calendar and quite high achievement, and meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, but then can't even vlog probably. But then I'm stuck in this state of old school. So I'm trying to go from old school to new school. Well, there's a truck there, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to go from old school to new school. So for me, old school was like, do the work yourself, respond to the emails yourself, do the Facebook yourself, do this yourself, do everything yourself. And the reality is, you know, the business is now turning over $12 million. You know, I acknowledge that for me to get to the next stage, which will be, you know, well, it depends on how you want to look at it, but $15 to $50 million, so I need to learn how to be that director. So the reality is, for me to become a CEO or whatever you want to call me at that point, and just be an operational leader, well, not even an operational leader, a strategic leader, ultimately I can't do any of the day-to-day functions of the business. And as I see it, I can pretty much just meet with people and give them answers and directions around what I need them to do, and they need to run the companies. So
whenever I move, so this happened when I moved out of the day-to-day operations of WaterPro and became, I guess, the general manager or the managing director, and had the daily functions. I don't do purchasing anymore. Definitely don't do purchasing. Still do a bit of sales. I'm not going to be allowed to really touch that, because by me only being half in it, it's dangerous. And because I touch something and then there's an assumption that I'm going to finish it, and I don't, because I move on to something else. And so out of respect for the team that I lead and the team that they lead, I need to remove myself properly and not touch any functions, and not approve anyone's leave, and not allow people to do stuff, and not pack orders, and unless I'm under the direction of one of the guys and they're like, look, just do this and that's it, then if I don't do that, there's going to be problems. So I kind of have left this week loosely free unintentionally, and now I'm kind of working out what to do with it. I think as a leader of larger, medium to large businesses, you need some non-time. And so this week I need that time, obviously, to finish setting up Dry Creek, which is kind of counterintuitive and against what I'm just saying. But then just to be like, all right, well, we've got Lawn Hub that needs more leadership, and WaterPro and Railways need more strategic directorship. And the app that we're getting developed needs my full attention, and it's not getting anywhere near my third or quarter attention. So I just have to kind of think about that a bit more and talk to the guys like Matt and Chris and Luke and find out what they need from me. I mean, Luke's effectively running it without us anyway, and has done this even before I owned it. But Chris is moving into new ground where he's genuinely in charge, and I'm like asking them to make decisions. And the idea behind that is, rather than me having to employ someone to be the CEO, because I don't want that. I never want someone above me. I need to do those jobs and become better at it, because my team deserve it. And the better I am at that, then the better they can be at their jobs. The more opportunity they have, the better the business is going to go, and everything just flows on. So yeah, Monday. That was my Monday. Anyway, today has probably been a full vlog in a day, and that's not what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a weekly vlog, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will expand on the planning thing as per the message or the comment in the comments. I do encourage you guys to ask any questions that you have for me about the businesses that I run. I am a pretty open book, barring any information that is sensitive to people that don't want me to share it. So you might notice that sometimes I don't show people's faces in videos, or I won't mention business names or locations. That's not because I'm not willing to share it, it's just out of respect for people that I know might not be as open about their lives as I. So yeah, if you don't mind liking this video, that would really help us out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, it doesn't matter anymore, because I've got 100 subs and now I'm on top of the world. No, it does. I need 1,000 now. Good little lesson there for business owners. When you hit your goal, reset immediately. So we've hit 100, now we're chasing 1,000. So if we can, if you've got 900 friends and they owe you favors, it would be the best thing to do would be to ask them to like my page. Anyway, till tomorrow. Be kind to each other. Talk to you soon.